Hello, everyone. Welcome back to LowCode Days for everyone joining us from the first session. I hope you enjoyed the keynote. There was some really exciting stuff coming down the line for LANSA and for LowCode in general. LowCode is really evolving, and with the upcoming addition of progressive web apps, there really isn't anything you can't do with LowCode. If this is your first session, then welcome to LowCode Days. My name is Tony Graham, LANSA Product Marketing Manager. And having been an IT manager that implemented a low-code solution and went through the entire buyer's journey of selecting a low-code platform, I want to share the knowledge I gained on my journey to better prepare you guys on your low-code journey. I also want to set everyone up for a successful low-code launch. My low-code project came about because a prior modernization project wasn't planned or executed properly. The tech and the tools were more than adequate, but the lack of vision, execution, and implementation left the entire project kind of hanging and ill-equipped to adapt to business, the changes in the business. So let's start off. I want to start off with some interaction here. So I want to know from everybody, I'm going to open a poll up here. Where are you at in your low-code journey? So the poll should be open. So are you just starting to learn about low-code? Are you researching the various low-code platforms? You know, are you about to purchase? You're in your decision phase and you're about ready to purchase. Did you just purchase one? Or are you low-code pros? So I'll let everyone have some time to chime in here. And I also want to mention, please feel free to ask questions. I'll have plenty of time to answer questions at the end. And so, you know, ask away as we're going through this. And if I can't answer them on the spot, we'll take it down and I will get back with you as well. Okay, just want to. Perfect. Looks like we got some people just starting to learn about it, and we have some low-code pros out in the audience there. Okay, so I'm going to end the polling. Thank you everybody that participated there. I'm going to have a few polls, another one in this session and one later on in my next session as well. Okay, so what is low-code? So for the people that are just starting out, obviously all pros know this one, but for the people just starting out, so low-code is an application design approach for quickly creating applications focused on using graphical interfaces, wizards, and drag and drop approaches. By eliminating a large amount of intensive hand coding, applications can be created up to 10 times faster than traditional programming methods. So very simply put, low-code is just an app development approach that focuses on solutions rather than trying to figure out how to code for the solution. So what low-code is not? Okay, so low-code is not no-code. There is still coding in low-code, albeit much less than traditional coding. There are no-code solutions, and those are usually very task-specific. They usually excel in one particular area. Maybe they are tied to a certain SaaS platform. But low-code, what we're going to talk about today, low-code is not no-code. Now, for many low-code solutions, they're evolving, requiring less and less coding. For example, Visual LANSA added a feature in 15 to publish APIs using no-code, right? So low-code is evolving, but the key to low-code is being able to code when necessary. And so if we think of low-code, low-code solutions are abundant, but every platform, every low-code solution will fit somewhere on the scale. On one end, we have extremely limited low-code, almost no code, and then we ramp up to extremely functional platforms. You know, what we'll term is hybrid, which is kind of what Visual LANSA is, that are geared for enterprise apps. So we go from creating only very simple apps to creating very complex enterprise application. Again, at that far right, that's where kind of Visual LANSA sits. That's a hybrid approach. And these platforms let you seamlessly create cross-functional web, desktop, mobile apps and allow you to code right inside the IDE when necessary. So they blend the power and versatility of traditional coding and the efficiency and speed of low-code. So to look at that a different way, here's another way to look at low-code platform scale, but using suitability as a metric. So at the bottom, we have departmental apps. And every low-code platform on the market is going to be perfectly fine sitting right here. These are small, these are simple departmental apps with very little or very easy integrations. But as your apps go up in complexity and functionality, as the apps become more mission critical to your organization, there's a lot of low-code solutions that'll be inadequate. So the low-code platform you select really needs to align with the apps that you're planning to create. And that's what I'm going to go through here in a little bit is some questions you need to ask to find out which low-code platform is right for you, because there's hundreds of them. And so knowing which questions to ask and what to look for is key to your success. So here comes another poll. And all right. So here's where I'm curious as to what kind of apps you guys are looking to develop or are developing. Are you developing, small departmental apps, large departmental apps, small customer facing apps, large or multiple small customer facing apps, enterprise apps, or highly complex enterprise apps? And this is very critical to the kind of solution that you're going to want to find. Okay, so it looks like we have, just go on just for a couple more seconds. A lot of people in the enterprise app. Okay. So we have quite a few in the enterprise app and the complex enterprise app category, and some large, some small, and some customer facing. So all these questions I ask will be geared towards these kind of apps that you're going to create. Okay, so what low-code solution is right for you? Ask questions and plan. And this is so important. Are you planning to create the simple apps or a few simple apps? Are you planning to expand simple apps? Are you planning to create customer-facing apps? Are you planning to create internal apps? Are you planning to create departmental apps? Right, and so kind of just like the poll, and are you planning on enterprise IT? And how you answer these questions is kind of where the solution you're going to want kind of falls into place. Another question to ask yourself, is are you going to use citizen developers, or are you thinking about using citizen developers? Because there's a whole extra cost and questions associated with that. How are you going to implement training to the citizen developers? How much time is IT going to need to support those developers? At what stage does IT take over the app? How much capacity does IT have to support citizen developers, create their own portion of the apps, and still do their normal IT routine? How much turnover and training are you planning for? So there's a lot of hidden costs in utilizing citizen developers, but if you're planning on using them, that's something you want to plan for accordingly, is ask all the different questions. How is their backlog going to look? And then is that low-code platform set up for that? And so there again, it's just another question to ask as you're looking for your low-code solution. So some other questions to ask is, is your low-code going to replace your current tool set, or is it going to supplement it? So if you're just building some small basic apps to supplement it, that might be one tool set. If you're looking to replace it, you're probably gonna be looking at a different tool set. Does your low-code solution still need developers developing apps outside the platform? A solution like Visual LANSA, you don't need developers outside your platform. But some other solutions, you still may need C#, some Java. So you'll need to find out, if you're developing, what language has to be used to develop outside the platform, and how does that look? Which developers are going to be dedicated to the external apps outside the platform? Who's going to be dedicated inside the platform? Again, what kind of apps are you creating, simple or enterprise? And then what is your implementation plan and how are you getting buy-in at all levels? As you will see, LowCode just lends itself very well to getting buy-ins at all levels. It's got great collaboration tools. It's set up for collaboration. And when you start collaborating with the end user and getting their feedback, buy-in is much, much easier. And we'll show you that, and I'll kind of go over that later on. But there again, depending on how you answer these questions is kind of going to be what solution is right for you. And these are kind of questions to ask as you're narrowing down your search. Then, does your low-code solution include modernizing the IBMI? Do you need to call RPG? Do you need to call CL programs? Do you want to combine green screens alongside new apps, maybe in one application? So these are also some questions you have to ask because certain low-code platforms are just not going to suit modernizing the IBMI at all. Some will be okay, and something like Visual LANSA can handle, seamlessly handle the IBMI. So there again, you're going to want to find out, what all are you modernizing? So let's go over some benefits of low-code. So the obvious benefit is you're going to create and deploy apps faster than traditional coding methods. Plenty of case studies out there from all kinds of companies and data research that it's no doubt up to 10 times faster. You can create and deploy apps faster than traditional coding. However, there's some additional benefits to consider that you might not have considered that are very important in your while you're looking for your platform. So additional benefits to consider are promotes collaboration. You're going to make DevOps more efficient. You're going to increase Agile functionality if you're an Agile shop. If you're not, now might be the time to look into it, as low-code lends itself well to Agile. And then lower total cost of ownership, which we'll go over as well. So let's look at these additional benefits a little bit closer. So many low-code platforms come with built-in collaboration tools. So you're going to be able to collaborate with the end user. You're going to be able to collaborate with the business analyst and collaborate with other developers. And that collaboration with the end users, when they have a say in their application, when they're invested in that application, they're going to have investment. So they're going to want to use that, right? They're involved in it, and they're going to be able to, they're going to want to use it because they actually get a help. And an example of a collaboration tool is inside Visual LANSA frameworks, the end users can actually comment and make request changes directly in the app as you're prototyping. So you send out stage one, you send it out to the end user, they can look at it, get the feel, say, I like this, I don't like that. And then when they're part of the development process, they have buy-in, they like that collaboration. And so, that same kind of ease with business analyst, and then collaboration with other developers. When a developer becomes a full stack developer, such as like with a Visual LANSA, then the collaboration is easier. Everyone is using the same tool set. Everyone is designing the same apps. And so this collaboration among developers is much stronger as well. So that's just some, as you're looking at low code, whether you should go to low code, collaboration is huge. You're going to get collaboration all along the way, and that's just natural the way low code is set up. So more efficient DevOps, you're going to have streamlined app deployment with low code. In a lot of cases, you'll have one-click deployments. And then as progressive web apps, you're going to streamline DevOps even more. You're going to bypass the native app stores. And so that whole process of deploying to a app store is gone. And so the maintenance, being able to change quicker, all that becomes much, much faster. And so so you think about this as well as the efficiency in DevOps. And then low code naturally lends itself well to Agile shops or adapting an Agile methodology. So if you're already Agile, you have an even better collaboration process. Like I just went over with the collaboration, it just lends itself well. And if you already have some collaboration, that's just going to boost up even more. You're going to be able to respond to change and events even faster. If we look at our situation with COVID, the companies that were able to respond quickly to get new apps, find new ways to reach their customers, find new ways to engage with their employees remote, to enable them to work remote, those companies that could respond faster, obviously did much better. And LowCode just lends itself well to that. So if you're already agile and you already can respond to events, that's just going to be increased tenfold. And then focus on interactions. There again, LowCode, it just promotes that collaboration, it promotes that interactions. So if you're already agile, it's just going to increase your functionality. If you are not agile, this is the time to be considering to become agile, is when you adopt a LowCode platform. Now, there again, you have to, is agile right for you? Is it right for your scenario? But if you want to become agile or looking into it, now's the time to do it when you switch over to a LowCode platform. Okay, so here's traditional app development. And I'm going to show you behind the how LowCode truly is more efficient and speeds up app development. When you look at traditional app development, you're going to have your client-side languages, your web server languages, the languages that can talk to each other, that make the two talk, and there's a lot. So you may have developers that need to know quite a few languages. You're probably going to have applications in quite a few languages. So where LowCode speeds up, how it truly speeds up app development. And of course, this is the high level answer to the million dollar question, right? How does LowCode speed up app development? Well, it's going to combine all those multiple languages from front end to back end. It's going to condense it into a single IDE, a single language in Visual LANSA's case, or it might just be some other LowCodes will have a couple different languages. But you take all these developers that have to do front end or have to do back end, and they're going to be a single full stack developer now, developing in one IDE. And so what took a few IDEs, several different languages before, is now condensed down into one. So you're not only using the LowCode methodologies to create the app, now you don't need to know all the different flavors of web and server languages. When the next language comes along that's the latest and greatest, you don't have to keep up with that. The platform will keep up with that, and you just have to worry about creating your apps in your IDE, and you focus on the solution rather than learning the next new language that comes out. So here again, just looking at traditional software, where a lot of the lower LowCode platforms sit, where like a hybrid LowCode platform will sit. Traditional software development is business resource intensive. It's developer intensive. You're going to learn a lot of languages. You have a lot of languages to learn to code in to develop web apps. LowCode is going to take all those languages, condense it down into a one platform. And so most those, like I say, most LowCode, you're going to be able to knock out very simple apps very quick. You're not going to have to use many business resources. Now, if you're using, depending what kind of LowCode you use, if you have one that you have to do a lot of development outside the LowCode platform, you're still going to use some business resources, but not as many as traditional development. If you go with a hybrid like Visual LANSA, they're going to stay right inside that IDE. And so again, it's going to be much less resources, and you're going to be able to do just as much as traditional development with less resources. Okay, so total cost of ownership. So what I'm going to do here is the current method, your traditional method. So if I'm going to take 4 apps, and if you think about everything it's going to cost, from the developer's salary, everything it costs to create that, if you have to do any sort of outsourcing, anything it's going to cost to create an app right now in traditional method. So here's 4 apps. Now, at a conservative 40% reduction for LowCode. And I say conservative because there's reports that say it could be up to 70, it could be up to 80. There's some that are maybe 30, and this mileage is going to vary. It's going to vary for everybody. And here's why too, is certain low code platforms, you're still going to be creating apps outside or part of the apps outside. If you have to drop out to C#, if you need to create something in Java. So it's still going to be faster than traditional methods, but maybe not as fast as something as, say, Visual LANSA, where you're creating your entire application inside one IDE. So depending which low-code platform you go with, and depending your approach to that low-code platform and how you're developing apps, you're going to see anywhere from like a 30 to 80% low-code reduction. And so what would have cost you $260,000 for these 4 apps, that's going to be reduced down to $152,000, just off less development time, because now your developers are taking less time to develop apps, and all that infrastructure and everything else that is related to creating that app is now reduced. But we also have the maintenance of apps. So here again, think of everything it's going to cost you to maintain that app, from developers having to troubleshoot, to update, especially if if you have to if you have a native app store that you're keeping an app in. And so for maintenance, again, a conservative 30% reduction. There again, if you're in something like a Visual LANSA where you're only troubleshooting in one IDE, that reduction's greater. If you have another low-code platform that you might have to troubleshoot out some apps outside it, it's going to be a little higher. It's still going to be much less than your traditional coding methods. So overall, for those same 4 apps, not only is your total cost of ownership going to be lower, but you're also creating those same 4 apps 10 times faster, up to 10 times faster. So while it's costing you more to create apps the traditional way, you've not only put out those same apps faster, you're working on your next 2, 3, 4, 5 apps before you even put out that those first apps in traditional. So apps are going to get launched quicker. They're going to be launched with less development time, and it's just overall, it's going to be cheaper, and the total cost of ownership is going to be much lower using a low-code platform. So implementing low-code successfully. And this is huge, because the best low-code platform in the world on the market is useless without planning and proper implementation. So these are the things you need to do. And I would even say possibly even before buying a low-code solution or before implementing it is create this task list, and all these need defined and detailed out. So you need to define the short-term and long-term goals of your app. What is the purpose of it in the first 3 to 6 months? Do you plan on taking that app and integrating it with other tools, other SaaS platforms? Is your company looking to get some different tools that this app would benefit from integrating with? Do you plan on expanding this? So you want to define your short-term goals. You want to define your long-term goals, because the app, the low-code application platform that you get needs to be able to cover that short-term and that long-term goals, so you're not stuck. And then you want to set realistic expectations. How is IT going to look during this transition? So sorry about that. Will there be any additional coding in the old method? So is it a hard stop? You're no longer doing traditional coding. Everything's transferring over to low code, and there will only be maintenance. Are you going to code side by side? Is this going to be a completely separate application, maybe framework, than what you currently have? Are you supplementing it? So that needs to be defined to a T, so there's no confusion when this rolls out. How much time is spent learning and developing in low code? How does that fit into IT's daily routine? Is IT expected to still hit even small requests, small changes to current applications? Is that getting put on hold? And I say this because, having been through a project that didn't have the stuff to find out, it creates confusion and frustration, and it really leads to a very unsuccessful project, because people have different expectations. And so if IT's not responding as quick as they used to because they're trying to learn a new tool for a few weeks, and then that looks bad. Managers get cranky, end users get cranky. So this all needs to be defined out and needs to be communicated very well, is how IT is going to look during this transition. And then that time to first low-code app launch, right? You're getting a new tool. It's faster. There's there's going to be that learning curve. So realistically, when is that first app going to launch? And so these are this little checklist is what you need to list out before either before buying or just right after when you're ready to launch. So tasks to be completed before implementation, right? Still going on this. So buying at all levels. So everyone must be committed to the new platform, from end users, developers, managers, and C-level. And again, with end users, if you're changing what their daily job is, what their routine is, what the screens they're used to seeing, if somebody has a screen that really works for them and you're going to change it, you have to let them know that you're not changing it. You're not going to make their life harder. So you need to reach out to the end users, say, hey, this is what we're planning to do. This is what it's going to look like. This is how it's going to help make your life easier. And this is how it fits into the bigger picture of the company. Developers, same thing. Let your developers know, hey, we're not limiting you, or we're not taking away any power from you. We're supplementing. We're actually going to make you more efficient. All right, we want to help your backlog, and so some people say low code. I don't have much control. Show them, no, you're going to have the same control as you would with traditional, but it's just going to be done in a little bit different. In managers, C-level. So everybody needs committed to this new platform. If you don't have commitment at all these levels, then it's going to be a struggle to launch, and you're going to set yourself up for failure. And again, collaboration is key. If everyone is involved, needs to have an investment in the new app. When you have an investment, you are more likely to be committed, right? If that end user has a say in it, if all developers can collaborate, if managers, they're involved, right? So when you have this collaboration and you have this investment from everybody, that's just way more successful. Like, everybody's excited about it. It's not to be pushed out, like you're not punishing somebody. Here's this new app because it's easier for us. No, the whole point is it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be easier for everybody, and it's going to make the business better. So getting that commitment, getting that buy-in, and getting that collaboration is so important to launching a successful low-code project. And then evaluate your progress regularly. Adjust as necessary, and then find out why the project is off track. If that first app was supposed to be out in a month and it's not, don't wait for that month to evaluate. Evaluate it, especially when you're in the beginning stages. Evaluate it weekly. Evaluate it bi-weekly. Where are you at? Adjust as necessary. If that first app was supposed to be out in a month and you're still 3 weeks off, why is that? Maybe the expectation of IT wasn't going to do some routine stuff or some small request in the old programs, and they still are. Not as much time was committed as originally laid out. So find out why it's off track. If you find out early, it doesn't snowball. And then when the app comes out late, people aren't like, well, this low code was supposed to help us. It was supposed to improve, and now we're behind schedule. And it could be something as simple as because the expectations that were set weren't followed, or there wasn't clear expectation set on how that IT was going to look. And that's why it's so important to plan out what IT is going to look like, what your developer's time is going to look like during this time, so you can track progress and you can track if you're off track, or you can track if you're going to hit your mark. Okay, so key takeaways: ask questions, define goals, and plan before choosing your low-code solution. Right? Make sure the low-code solution matches those plans and goals. If you have your goals and plans laid out, if you know what you want this to do in 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, if you know you need this large, especially for the people looking to do enterprise apps and complex enterprise integration, find that platform that is going to be able to be successful for you. something like Visual LANSA where you can do everything inside, that's what you're looking for. You know, do you have C# developers or Java developers if you're looking at another solution that's going to be able to do this implementation and this integration in different ways? So define your goals, ask the questions, and then make sure the solution you pick matches up to those. And again, proper implementation is key. So for your applications, define the short-term and long-term goals of those applications. Set the realistic expectations. You're going to need buy-ins from all level, that focus on collaboration, and then evaluate and adjust. So those, to me, are the huge takeaways from this. So that brings us to the end. That hits us right at 11:30. And then let's see here. Do we have questions? So, is hybrid low-code a commonly used category? Is that specific to LANSA? So hybrid low-code is something that LANSA's really taken off with. Our approach is very unique. And so we're saying in our platform, you can design and create apps cross-functionally, right? You can design a web top app seamlessly with a web app using a lot of the same resources. You don't need to develop separate apps or develop a bunch of separate code. And we're going to allow you to code right inside the IDE. So we're not going to force you to drop out to C# if you need to do some backend integration. We're not going to make you code in Java if you want to add some extra functionality. We're saying you code right in there. So it's really kind of something we coined because that's very different than some of the other low-code platforms that how they approach application design. Okay, so I thank everybody for joining this LowCode Days, the business side of LowCode. Hope you enjoyed it. We have a great day still planned, and so progressive web apps I think's next, and we have Portalize and just a great day full of LowCode. So thank you everybody for joining, and I look forward to seeing you in an hour if you're going to attend Portalize. Thank you.